On to our big story straight away. And 6 wins in 6 games with 60 wickets and comprehensive wins. India have clearly lived up to the tag of defending champions in this World Cup so far and have made their intentions absolutely clear. They won't give it back. Here's more on India's incredible World Cup campaign so far.
6 matches, 6 wins. 60 wickets taken. 1,444 runs scored. Team India is in 7th heaven. Whatever the men in blue have touched in the World Cup has turned into gold. And now after the first round over, the team looks good to go all the way.
I think the crucial part is for everybody to score runs, to get wickets and to bowl well, because ultimately in the knockout stages you don't really know, who all you may need. So it's important that everybody gets a bit of confidence going, and as you rightly said, most of the batsmen, they've got some kind of a batting so far. The bowlers have done well.
The good part is that Team India has performed as a team. In the batting department, if the openers have failed, the middle order has delivered. If that's not worked, the latter half has bailed the team out. The biggest difference though has been the bowling, especially the pacers who have pushed the opposition into submission. India dismissed Pakistan for 224 runs in 47 overs. South Africa were bundled out only for 177 runs in 40.2 overs. Minnows UAE managed to bat only 31.3 overs, scoring 102 runs. West Indies were a bit better, but all out for 182 runs in 44.2 overs. Ireland tried hard but were all out in the 49th over for 259 runs. Zimbabwe were the best but were all out in the 49th over again for 287 runs.
As far as group stages go, India couldn't have asked for a better one. Just compare this side to the one that started the World Cup. They weren't anything more than a possible contender, defending champions, but now they've established themselves as firm favourites together with co-host New Zealand. Batting, bowling, fielding, everyone in each department has put their hand up at least in one match. And that's the difference between possible contenders and possible champions.
A lot of us feel that now it's the knockout stages, so we'll have to do something extra. India does not need to do that. India need to keep playing one game at a time because they have Bangladesh probably to play at the quarterfinals.
Along the way, Indian captain MS Dhoni too has overtaken Clive Lloyd in winning his 10th World Cup match in a row. However, Dhoni and his team know the real test for the team starts now. One slip could turn a dream into a nightmare. With Shivani Gupta in Auckland, Sports Bureau, headlines today.
I think it couldn't have been better in the sense, if you're playing the last game of the league stage and if you get an easy win, you don't get a lot out of that game. What was good was the spinners were put under pressure, and also we lost quick wickets initially, and that actually put our middle and lower middle order under pressure. So we gained a lot out of it. Winning, of course, was very important, but the knock by Raina was very crucial, coming at number 5. I think, what's important is to break the number of runs into small criteria. You may say, okay, next 2 or 3 overs, let's look for 10 runs or 15 runs or even 8 runs, if someone is bowling really well. But at the same time, it's still a team effort. You can't really miss out the fact that somebody like Raina, how he batted in the other end also eases off the pressure from me. We have the same kind of pressure. I've said it so many times, irrespective of which team we play or which tournament we play, we are under pressure. So the good thing, the boys are quite used to it. A few times there have been instances where we are down, but from that position also we have come back strongly and we have done well.
All right, so let's relive the memories of India's memorable campaign in the World Cup so far. Andrew, starting with you, that 76-run win over Pakistan was special, wasn't it? What was the highlight of that win for you?
Oh, look, I'm not an Indian and I'm not a Pakistani, but I know how passionate both teams are to beat each other in that particular game. And India have had the wood over Pakistan in World Cup fixtures since the World Cup's probably started. And I know the Indian boys are very proud in keeping that tradition. I don't think they've lost to Pakistan ever in the World Cup. So that's an ongoing battle. Obviously Pakistan want to ignite their flame there and beat India one day, but India haven't allowed it so far. And you know, the two countries obviously do battle in various ways, and the sporting field is one of the ways. And the Indian boys are very proud in how they've kept the Pakistan team at bay.
Right, Boria, Mohit Sharma's run out was easily the highlight of that 130-run win over South Africa. What about you?
Absolutely. You know, it was incredible. I mean, to see the Indians field and bowl like that, special. But also Shikhar Dhawan and Ajinkya Rahane's knock. I mean, Ajinkya Rahane smashing Dale Steyn back of the bowler's head for 6 in the, you know, the biggest of grounds, Melbourne Cricket Ground. The other highlight for me of that match, and I will never forget, 85,000 people inside the MCG, 82,000 Indians. It was a sea of blue. I would say 20% of the South African morale was down seeing that massive sea of blue, which will be repeated in the quarterfinal.
Nikhil, I'm sure R. Ashwin's 4 for 25, figures of 4 for 25 against the UAE for that incredible 9-wicket win, though it was easy, I'm sure must have really left you a satisfied man.
Well, I guess Ashwin in the entire tournament has been able to go out there and pick up wickets in the middle overs. But that's also been the case primarily because of the good work being done with the new ball from Shami, Umesh Yadav as well as Mohit Sharma. He's always had somebody new at the crease when he's had to go out there and bowl. He's never had, you know, better players in the middle overs batting on 40s and 50s where he would be put under the pump a bit. But come the knockout stage of the game, I'm pretty sure with the kind of confidence that he's got in the 6 games, I don't see a worry for R. Ashwin. I think he's a much more confident bowler.
Right, gentlemen, hold on to those thoughts. I'll come back to you in a bit. As India prepare for their quarter-final match against Bangladesh at Melbourne on Thursday, let's listen into what former Indian captain Sourav Ganguly told us in an exclusive interview. In fact, he said the match against Bangladesh should prove to be easy for India and that Dhoni's men haven't really been tested in the tournament so far.
Let me start with the Zimbabwe match. They had India where they wanted them, isn't it? 4 wickets down, less than 100 on the board, at 9 runs required at one time. Inexperience showed at one point.
A lack of quality showed at one point. The bowling, they dropped that catch of Suresh Raina.
Yeah.
India could have still won after that with Jadeja and Ashwin still to come. But any other team, India, if had Zimbabwe or any other team in this position, they would not have let them win. So it's just a lack of quality.
But any worries for you, for India now, for you? Because you said before this match that no worries for India.
No, still no worries. I think they've done superbly to get past this. They were in a spot of bother and still they went past it to win it. These things will happen in a long tournament. And now, even not now, the semi-finals would be the real 2 games for India, the semi-finals and finals.
Yes, you're obviously skipping the Bangladesh quarter-final. I'll come to that in just a bit. But sort of overall, if you were to analyze the group stage, what has been the biggest positive for you?
I think India haven't been tested in the group stage other than the South Africa game. They were just been outstanding against South Africa. The rest of the teams were not as good as India. So very rightly, they've been the number 1 team in the group, and they'll go and play Bangladesh now, which is going to be a cakewalk, and then. The last
a cakewalk.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we'll hold you to that if it doesn't turn out to be that.
If it doesn't turn out to be that, then we are in trouble. We have to go through semi-finals and finals without India, and that's going to be a big problem for all of us. But then, India is a much better side. We were at the studio and Pommy was rating Bangladesh and India 60-40. He said, I said, you won't be allowed in India if you say 60-40. It's 90-10 for India.
A word about the bowlers, of course. They've now taken 60 wickets in 6 matches. It's unbelievable that we're talking about the same India side, isn't it? Yes, they've been a good one-day side, but we couldn't have imagined this.
Really, and I hope they learn a lot from this because they are young. Umesh, Sami and Mohit, they're all young bowlers. They've got a long career ahead in front, and I hope they can reproduce it even in tri-series, bilaterals, and even in test matches.
It's remarkable the difference that we've seen. Can you pinpoint anything that you think has led to this? Apart from the fact that they've spent time in Australia, yes, but that singularly can't be the reason.
I think the pressure of a World Cup. And you know that you have to perform. If you don't perform, careers will be on the block. All of this was given a bit of a breathing space because of the big tournament coming. When it comes to the big tournament, if you don't stand up, then there's a problem. So I think it has got to do with that your back is to the walls. You either die or you swim, and the Indians have swum.
And a word about MS Dhoni, 10 consecutive wins for him now. Mohammed.
Yeah, brilliant, absolutely. 2 World Cups, 10 wins, and he's still got some distance to go. I'm banking on him to win this World Cup again. I know it's still a distance away, but the way India has played, the way the Almighty has written his luck, I won't be surprised if he wins this again.
Statistics.
Well, always a pleasure getting those insights from Dada. Andrew, of course, it was remarkable how Dhoni saved India with that unbeaten 45 against the West Indies.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's not remarkable. He's a quality player. But as we said, playing in Perth, I think both teams got caught out a bit with the bounce. You know, all the wickets have been very flat and slightly untraditionally Australian. You know, usually there's a bit more bounce. And the big teams haven't played. They've only played 1 or 2 games in Perth and Brisbane, so the bounce hasn't really caught teams out. But when the West Indies played India in Perth, the bounce caught both teams out. You know, the West Indies were caught out with a new ball, and then India chasing, the bounce caught them out early. They lost early wickets, and then Dhoni scored a very good 40 odd and saved India from losing that match. So, but in the final stages of this tournament, there's no one's going to be playing in Perth or Brisbane. So the wickets they're playing on are going to be, considerably docile compared to Brisbane and Perth.
Right.
So it'll suit the way that India play.
Right, Boria, the highlight clearly of India's win over Ireland was that opening stand. I'm sure you were really impressed with that as well.
Correct. And I agree with Andrew, Perth and Brisbane out of the equation will favour India. Ireland was a canter. I mean, Rohit Sharma, Shikhar Dhawan finished it off in no time. India was breezing past. The one point, Himanshu, you should ask Nikhil and Andrew. Saurav said cakewalk. I don't think it will be a cakewalk. Yes, India will win against Bangladesh, but the way Bangladesh has played, it might not be a cakewalk, and there is no room for complacency.
Right. All right. Well, as we slip into a break, here's a look at visuals of fans celebrating after India's win against Zimbabwe. We'll be back with much more.
We will give you back!
Young kids here having a great time. 6 wins in a row. New record for Dhoni as the most wins in a World Cup. Nobody can climb Lloyd as well. So everything that could have gone India's way has gone India's way. Now it's about knockouts. Each day matters in the knockouts now. First up in the knockouts in the quarters is going to be Bangladesh. But India has to bring their A game at each stage. Here's wishing he won't give it back. With the other person, Manish Mathur in Auckland, Shivani Gupta for headlines today.
Thank you, Shivani.
India will
All right, so continuing our discussion from where we left it in the previous segment, it's time for a masterclass by Andrew Simons and Nikhil Chopra. Andrew, a very interesting question that I had in my mind while we were in the break. If you were leading this Indian side in the game against Bangladesh at MCG, how would you advise your bowlers to bowl to Bangladesh? Because, of course, the Indian bowlers have been the standout performers so far in the World Cup. And, of course, the Indian batsmen as well, to an extent.
Yeah, well, Yadav has swung the ball. So, for me, I want him to pitch the ball up slightly further than, say, a Yadav or someone like this. So, a length of this sort of length
Right.
for a ball that's swinging
Right.
is going to draw a batsman forward and bring the slips and the wicketkeeper into play early in the innings,
Right.
and try and get an edge to slip or wicketkeeper.
Right. I would request my producer to show the exact spot where Andrew's ball is on the pitch right now. Right.
He's trying to draw the batsman forward and take the ball off the edge into slip. But a Yadav who's trying to bang the ball into the wicket and get the ball to seam or get a little bit of variable bounce.
Right.
I would encourage him to bowl slightly back of a length, let's say somewhere here,
Okay, so back of the length for Yadav.
and try and get LBWs and jam the batsman up with no width so he can't get the ball square of the wicket.
Right.
Try and angle the ball in at middle and off stump, less width, LBWs and bowled.
Right. What about the other
Mohit
bowlers?
Sharma.
Rohit Sharma. Mohit.
Rohit Sharma.
Mohit
Sharma.
Excuse me.
Mohit Sharma.
Mohit Sharma. He's the same. He's into the wicket bowler. He's not a big swinger of the ball, so he's back of a length as well. Every now and then he can slip one up or go for a Yorker or bowl a short ball. But I'd like him back of a length trying to get men LBW bowled.
Right. Nikhil, what about R. Ashwin? Do you think he should be bowling to a specific line or length, considering the pitch, the conditions at MCG?
Well, I guess, square of the wicket, the ground's fairly large. And somebody like Ashwin, what he's done well in this tournament is that he's bowled at a very good pace. He's much, much slower, Himanshu, through the air. He's getting the batsman to draw forward. He's not allowing the batsman to use their pace.
Let's get you to place the ball at exactly the length or the kind of line that you would want him to
Well, the
bowl.
good thing is against the left-handers, at least if you're talking about the Bangladesh game with the left-handers, if he's bowling around the wicket, you'd want him to pitch the ball somewhere, say, around here, where allowing the ball, once it pitches, enough bounce where the ball finishes at about knee to the thigh length.
Right.
That makes it difficult for the batsman to maneuver the ball into the gap for the ones.
Right.
And if I was, say, in Ashwin's case and scenario, I'd keep a Suresh Raina at point with the left-hander, and I'd keep a right-handed fielder, say somebody like a Virat Kohli, in the covers. That will allow the gap to get smaller, with the right-hander picking the ball up with one hand or the left-hander picking it up and going straight for the stumps as well.
Right.
You've got to play a little bit with the field setting. Then when you come with the right-hander, similar sort of case and scenario. Keep the ball away a little bit, off stump, around off stump, because once you start getting into the pad line, it gets easier to work. And similar, with the right-hander batting, initially on, you'd want, say, a right-handed, a Virat Kohli, and another left-hander towards square leg. So you're looking to bridge the gap.
Right.
And if there's not a lot of turn, if you're forcing the batsman to play forward or in front of the wickets, then you'd want a left-handed fielder at mid-wicket.
Right.
So you're closing the gap between the bowler and the long-on area. So you're not allowing them to take the ones. Get the batsman to hit past the 30-yard fielders.
Right.
That's where you start creating pressure.
Right. Let's also get a quick perspective from Boria on this. Let's get Boria on the video wall here. Boria, you heard what Andrew and Nikhil had to say and demonstrate as well. Your perspective on this planning, on the level of planning that Andrew and Nikhil have had so far.
I loved it. I mean, I absolutely loved the way these two just showed the art. I'm sort of going to be in Melbourne once again for the quarterfinals. All these thoughts, I'm sure, Team India would be planning and executing. And from the stands, trust you me, it will be one heck of an experience. My perspective, it might not be a cakewalk, but we should definitely be in the semi-finals.
Right. We'll look forward to hearing from you in Melbourne, your insightful comments, and of course your reporting, Boria. Well, that's all we have on the show. News and updates continue on Headlines Today.